Hey guys, welcome back to the We Are Tearfund YouTube channel. I'm Shehani and you saw me last week, so you get to see me twice in a row. I'm basically going to be doing a different kind of video today. It's going to be a vlog style, which I haven't actually done. I didn't think I'd ever done it for this channel, but I think the last time I did it was with James for a charity shopping video. Speaking of which, got my vintage t-shirt on. I actually got this shirt, not that anyone cares. I actually found it at a vintage store in Shoreditch because they have quite a few different stores around that area, so that was pretty cool. And it currently has guacamole stains on it, which is super attractive. And my friend's coming around, so that's not gonna stay on. I'm gonna have to change and freshen up. Yeah, it's gotta go. Basically, in this vlog, you get to meet my friend Stef. She is one of my closer friends who basically doesn't shy away from speaking about deeper topics, and I thought, why not let you guys in on one of our conversations? I'll shoot a question over and then you guys can let us know what you think in the comments as well and join in. I need to get changed and freshen up, so I'll see you guys in a bit. So I just freshened it up and Steph is going to be here really soon, so I'm just going to finish getting ready and then I'll get to introduce you guys. I'm ready and Steph still isn't here, but she'll be here soon. I'm gonna start cooking dinner for us because also I got a double delivery this week, which is super inconvenient because I'm going away for a few days and I'm just trying to finish all this food because I don't want anything to go to waste. Steph is here. Say hello.
Hello.
Hello, hello. So I need to finish cooking. So we're gonna go back to the kitchen and catch up and then we'll have dinner, so.
It's so, I can't wait to eat.
Yumbo. So I'm gonna let you get to know Steph a bit better. You'll get to know a little bit more about her life. I was just about to be like, what's your date of birth? Yeah.
Where's your postcode? Where do you live?
We're gonna do 2 truths and a lie, and then we can test our friendship, which could be really bad for me, but I'm gonna try.
I got stuck in an elevator once.
Yeah.
And that made me late to school for about an hour. I don't like planes. I'm terrified of them. I love volleyball. I love playing volleyball.
You like playing volleyball, you're terrified of planes, and you got stuck in an elevator and you were late for school by an hour. I feel like that's so specific, unless you change the time frame or something like that. I'm gonna go for the third one was the volleyball one.
Did I say that I like or did I dislike playing volleyball?
You said that you liked it.
Okay, I was meant to change that to dislike.
Wait, so all of them were true?
Sorry.
You didn't give me much of a chance, Steph.
Volleyball. That was my bad.
Here's mine.
Yeah.
I once thought I was going to become a professional figure skater because I watched a film. Number 2, I had 12 rabbits by accident. Number 3, I caused my sister to fall down a sofa and lose one of her teeth.
I think the movie one will probably be realistic because I've done that so many times. I think it's the okay, I think it's the rabbit one.
It wasn't the rabbit one. The last one, my sister had put like a blanket over 2 sofas. We were trying to be like adventurous and imagine that the living room was like, I don't know, like a jungle or something like that. And so she was like, oh, why don't you walk across the top of the sofas, across the bridge, which is the blanket, walked across it because I was like 5 years old and fell straight through the gap because obviously there was nothing under that part of the blanket, and I hit my chin and this tooth actually came out. I have a scar right there where my tooth went through, and I think they had to put stitches in it. And my sister is like the most loving person, and so it's so funny whenever I bring it up. But we were really young. That was the lie because it happened to me instead of the other way around.
I already gave Steph the heads up that we'd be talking about different topics today because I kind of wanted to see what she had to say.
If you're gonna put this on me, I have to give you comfortable.
So we're going to be talking, drum roll, what is my purpose? What is my calling? That is the question. Do you think they're the same thing, or do you think they're separate? What do they mean to you?
Over to you, Steph.
To me, okay. Purpose and calling, I think in some way they are the same thing. But I guess for me, as a Christian, when I think of my purpose, when I think of my calling, I think of what God has set in my life in a sense of what I need to be doing for Him. So I think calling and purpose are similar things. So to me, they're the same things. Like if you know what your
I thought they
purpose,
were separate.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah, so just to recap, because we had to turn the camera around, Steph thinks, when she thinks of what is my purpose, what is my calling, she sees them as kind of the same thing. I think I used to, but over time, I think purpose, when it comes to Christians, they have the same overall purpose in terms of sharing the gospel, loving God above all else and glorifying Him, and showing that love to other people. Whereas calling can be different between different individuals, and God has a specific calling to each person. And I think I grew up in my teens actually kind of stressing, being like, what is my calling for my life? I thought it had to be one, so I would be juggling all these dreams or juggling these different things, being like, okay, which one does God want me to go for? Like, which one's right, which one's wrong? And then someone kind of helps me get a revelation of, you might have multiple callings in your life, so it could happen during different seasons. So you don't necessarily have to stress like, which one should I pick, because God will lead you into a calling during different seasons, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's kind of where I'm at right now, of what I think.
So you think that everyone has the same purpose, but then everyone has this different callings?
Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. But I always thought that purpose and callings were...
Yeah, no,
same.
I know you're not the only one either. I thought it'd be interesting to have this conversation because I didn't know what you thought.
Because I do believe that you don't have one calling or one purpose for the rest of your life. I think depending on the season it can change, and also it depends on our yeses. If you don't say yes at that time, our purpose for that time can change.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Also, do you think that, I know some people think calling completely kind of revolves around career and work, whereas I think it could be like even moving into a season eventually where you're a mother or you're a wife, or maybe you do have a different kind of career, or you're called to a specific location maybe.
There's that verse that talks about how God, He sees the desires of our heart. You know what I mean? He could have placed it there. It can't change, you know what I mean? Like, I could be a scientist today, but like a musician tomorrow. I'm not gonna just follow what I want to do.
Yeah.
Because if I want to live a life just full of just God and just serving Him, then I have to do what He tells me to do, and sometimes will be to sacrifice what I think I want to do, you know, and actually just follow His plans for my life. It will benefit me so much more.
Yeah.
Be so much more joyful than what I thought if I followed my own plans.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I think even growing up, I would have certain dreams, and I still do, and I think it's good to have dreams, and God knows the desires of your heart, but I would have certain dreams, and over time I would kind of see it as, oh, but I kind of wanted that dream because it would glorify myself more, not necessarily God, or it wouldn't necessarily benefit others beyond myself. And so I think when you lean into God's calling for your life and you actually want to follow that, then kind of like you were saying, you find your full fulfillment and your fullest joy, because even if it's not something you expect, there's always this kind of discontent if you're doing your own thing, whereas as soon as you step into what God has for you, then it's just like a peace that you can't describe and a joy that you can't describe.
I agree, but I feel like there's so many people who don't see it like that, you know, as in, if I pray about it and then if I just go for it, then God will bless that and God will glorify that. And especially during that uni, I used to struggle a lot, being like, God, what do you want me to do? Like, what's my calling? What's my calling? What's my calling? Which caused me a lot of times to just like not do anything because I didn't want to do the wrong thing. But actually just going ahead and doing what you know, what at that time it feels like it's right, just go with it, and God will definitely tell you if it's right or if it's wrong. He will close door if it's not meant to be open.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah,
you can't be passive, but if you're doing something, still make sure it aligns with God's word, and still make sure it's not something completely out there and completely against what God's character is or what you think He would be calling you to do, if that makes sense. And just check your motives again. Just make sure they're not selfish. Just make sure they're actually going to benefit others beyond yourself, and more importantly, glorify God. Some people think, oh, if you're going to move to this country, if you're going to move to a different part of the country, God can still use you the same. And yeah, I think God can still use you, but if He has a specific location in mind and He's calling you there, and you know that He's calling you there, and you go to a different place, then you're either delaying your calling, or He's going to use someone else to do what He told you to do because you weren't willing to stay, or you weren't willing to go to where He called you. Kind of like Jonah, when God was calling him to Nineveh, and he was going away from where God called him, and then, I mean, he basically took the long way round back to where God called him, and it was a lot more painful, a lot more dramatic.
But I agree though, because I was saying, if we're not obedient to God and say yes when we were meant to say yes, then it can actually take us a longer way to go back to the purpose that God...
Exactly. So do you feel like you have a specific calling right now?
Right now, I don't know, to be honest.
Okay. Because same, I think sometimes you just expect people to know what their next step is or what their calling is. And so I was asked recently, like, what do you feel like your calling is? And I was like, well, I feel like I'm supposed to stay in this city, for instance, but I don't know specifically what God's next step is for my life, and I don't know exactly what my calling is right now, but that's okay. Like, you can't beat yourself up about it, because I'm praying about it and I want to know, obviously, but over time, sometimes that's when you get clarity. You don't necessarily get it straight away, being like, okay, you finished this season, this is going to be your next season. And so
our timing is not God's timing.
Oh, it's not.
No. And something that we think is going to happen right now or within the year may happen in the next. You know what I mean? And also, not everything, it's a waste of time. Even if you think that you're doing something that it may not be related to what you think you're going to be doing in the future, God can still put that together, and it will all make sense at the end.
You can get fixated on one in particular, thinking about it constantly, or when's that going to happen? Why isn't that happening right now? Instead of actually focusing on your present calling or how you're growing in that particular season. And so you can't focus on the future so much and just miss all of that time that you have right in front of you, because it will go just like that. So guys, I hope you liked this video, and glad you guys got to meet my friend Steph and get to know her a little bit better. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and comment below if you have any thoughts on the conversation that we were having earlier about calling and purpose, or anything in this vlog in general. And hope you guys have a great week. Bye.